Welcome again to The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. This is Season 2, Episode 5. Sid and Marcus witness a Hail Mary and develop a new mantra while they're at it. Previously, Sid's grandson Willie started to read him about the Incan king Atahualpa, who lost his kingdom to the Spanish conquistador Pizarro. During the reading, Willie found himself possessed by the king. In this episode, we take a little break and watch some football with Sid and Marcus. Marcus got a text the Saturday morning after Sid was discharged from the hospital. These texts all use emoticons. To Marcus, that seemed like a reasonable suggestion, albeit kind of superfluous, seeing how the Buddha had already made it perfectly clear that the box was full of countless annoying shouts and shout-nots that countless holier-than-thou types had been torturing people with for centuries. So he took the bait. No prob, me great at that. 1. Question mark, Sid texted back. Question mark, Marcus replied. Where's the box? Sid saw the little dots that indicated Marcus was writing back. Then they went away. Chalk another one up for the Buddha. It's not a competition, the Buddha thought. It's not a competition, Sid thought, but it's so much fun to hoist Marcus. There was a ding as he was writing, with his own petard. He looked at the new message. Marcus had written, Hoist yourself. Gee, is he starting to put thoughts in my head? Sid wondered. That's a no-brainer, the Buddha smiled. Clearly, Sid was inviting Marcus down for a visit that afternoon. He didn't need to say why. Michigan was playing Notre Dame at 1 p.m. Sid always rooted against Notre Dame because they didn't accept him for college. A lot of colleges didn't accept Sid, but he felt the Notre Dame rejection letter was particularly hurtful because it suggested it was God's will, when Sid knew it was his horrific board scores. Marcus listened to the first half in the car, but it was hard to concentrate since Sid texted him every play. He ended up arriving at Sid and Diane's house early in the third quarter and found the impatient patient sitting up very straight with his legs crossed and a dozen or so pillows of every size and shape behind and beside him, including Jake's 30-year-old Star Wars pillow that Sid had found while he was rummaging through a blanket chest looking for where Diane had hidden her emergency cigarettes. He was staring intently at the game on a large-screen TV, which Junior and a couple of his juvenile delinquent high school friends had found a way to mount on the opposite wall, along with the couch they carried up from downstairs to the bedroom, because Sid insisted they stay and watch Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons. Marcus tossed a small box on the bed before settling on the couch. Meditating on a football game? Now you're just showing off. Shh, Sid said, throwing a soft toy football at him while continuing to look straight ahead. The sound was off. Your eyes are supposed to be closed or looking down, Marcus pointed out. Shh. Shh yourself. I assume you're all in for Michigan? Of course, Sid said, breaking his vow of silence. Is the Pope Catholic? Then presumably he'll be rooting for Notre Dame. I thought the Pope and I were on the same team, the Buddha mused. During the next commercial, Marcus asked, Hey, Sid, isn't being attached to one team kind of not Buddha-like? I'm not like the Buddha. I am the Buddha, he answered dismissively, reading the card Layla had carefully taped to the top of the small box, which read, Sid, no more than half a brownie at a time. Don't say I didn't warn you. Love, Layla. She's a saint. His fingers fumbled along the bottom looking for the edge of the wrapping paper until he finally gave up and tore it off. He ate half the brownie in one bite and gave Marcus a crumb from the other half. What an ingrate, Marcus objected. Glad I didn't bring that bottle of 18-year-old single malt you gave me for my 50th, which, eat your heart out, would make it a 28-year-old. It doesn't age in the bottle, Butterfly Boy. I thought we'd agreed we'd stop with the insect names. You agreed, Sid said. I agreed with him, the Buddha thought. Sid took the aluminum foil, tilted his head back so he could swallow the rest of the crumbs. Then he wrapped the other half, reached around, pulled out a drawer in his night table, and came out with a small bottle that he opened and drank half of, all in one smooth, well-practiced motion. Marcus sighed, got up, and walked around to the other side of the bed, and looked in the drawer. "Been flying a lot lately?" he asked, impressed. "I have friends in high places." Marcus laughed appropriately, grabbed one, and reached over to clink it against Sid's. "To Michigan," he toasted. "Hey, I've been thinking." Sid turned on the sound, loud. "If you're the Buddha," Marcus shouted. "That was grasping. Automatic first down." Sid shook his head. "Refs haven't gotten the call right the entire game." "How much you have on this game anyway?" Marcus asked. $300. Mickey and I bet every week. That's how much I'm up for the year, so I doubled or nothing." "Cocky bastard," Marcus said. "You're not the first person to say that." "I don't get it," the Buddha said. After the Michigan quarterback got sacked, a commercial came on, and Sid condescended to look over at Marcus. The Buddha took this opportunity to contemplate football's role in the cosmological scheme of things, or at least figure out the rules. The basic principles were pretty simple. One army marched down the field. If they were repulsed by the other army, they had to hand over the ball. But if they successfully got behind enemy lines, they had a brief celebration and then compassionately gave the ball back to the other army, instead of the more common practice, at least in his experience, of slaughtering them all. As it was, only a few combatants got injured and had to be carried off the field. "I was thinking," Marcus said during the injury timeout. "Three of the scariest words in the English language," Sid said. "You know, that guy wouldn't have been hurt if they'd consulted with my buddy El Cid on helmet design. Iron and steel beat those space-age materials every time." "Biecha!" he yelled, and the dog came bounding up. "Could you get a message to your former master?" Biecha growled. "Oops, sorry, I forgot. We'll talk about it later. Come watch the game." Biecha jumped up and happily settled herself at the foot of the bed. "Forgot what?" Marcus said. "I said I forgot." "Okay, so as I was saying," Marcus said, continuing before Sid could interrupt, "I'm not sure you can take sides if you're the Buddha." "Then I resign." "I don't think it's that easy." Would that it were, the Buddha thought. But to be honest, the winning and losing thing was a conundrum, one that he'd been dealing with through multiple incarnations. He thought he'd settled it in his first Buddha lifetime, when he renounced violence. But in retrospect, that had been pretty naive, since violence is part of all that is, which he was blissfully aware of at all times. "You mean I'm stuck with him?" Sid sounded disconsolate. "I think it's more the other way around," the Buddha thought. "I think it's more the other way around, Sid," Marcus said. The Buddha was surprised that Marcus had taken words out of his mouth. "I must be talking too loud," he thought. Still, it was hard even for the Buddha to imagine a world without winners and losers, one in which the loser now would be later to win. But the times are always a-changing, so there must be something new out there that is equally evolutionary. The Buddha knew some spirits who had tried to finesse the winning and losing thing. That Krishna fellow explained that the warrior path involved fighting the good fight without caring about the outcome. Thousands of years later, a Japanese samurai he'd worked with wrote some poem that said what mattered wasn't what the warrior did, but what was done through him. Then, of course, there was the Popeye Sutra. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. Although the Buddha thought he must have meant not all that I am. Most people don't actually take sides, the Buddha thought. Sides take people, which could be true of everyone and everything and everywhere, and all the time. That's it. Each time a team won or lost, it rebalanced all the energy in the universe. Now all I need is a new mantra. "Okay," Sid said reluctantly. "I guess I better figure out how to deal with this taking sides thing. I need a new mantra." "You mean something both sides could say?" "Maybe I should have a meeting with the cheerleaders." The Buddha smiled, a particularly inscrutable smile. "That's not going to happen," Marcus pointed out. "Okay, what's the mantra?" "Shh! Game's back on." The fourth quarter started with the Notre Dame interception. "Jesus Christ." "No, Buddha," Marcus corrected him. Sid shrugged dismissively. Marcus let it go until Notre Dame scored on 3 plays and went ahead 24-21 before he returned to the topic. "Got that mantra yet, Sid?" "I got a few ideas, but I think I'll focus group test them before I decide." The clock kept moving, but neither team got anywhere. With seconds left, Michigan was still behind by 3. Ball at midfield. "The people we need to free from suffering," Sid pointed at the Michigan sideline, "are those guys." The Michigan quarterback threw up a Hail Mary. "Kaboom!" the Buddha whispered, realizing that was the mantra. "What was that?" Marcus turned to Sid and asked. "Kaboom!" Sid yelled at the top of his lungs. Pietra jumped up and ran out of the room. In the end zone, a scrum of 5 or 6 guys leapt for the ball. Thanks for listening to The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. New paid annual subscribers still get a Sid Om cap and a copy of Season 1 of The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. Thanks for listening.